Hey there, Elise here. Welcome to the SuperNova Astrology Update for August 27th through 31st, 2026. Well, here we are in that strange place in between eclipses, coming up on the second of two eclipses, a Pisces Lunar Eclipse. This Pisces Lunar Eclipse happens on Friday, August 28th. 29th in some parts, half of the world. It happens at 10:19 p.m. in Mountain Time. So that will be visible in the U.S. And so we are examining this energy of this eclipse season. It's an interesting juxtaposition. The first eclipse we had, the Leo Solar Eclipse, happened on August 12th at 20 degrees of Leo. And with Jupiter in Leo and the sun, the moon in Leo, also Mercury was in Leo, we had, and the south node in Leo. So this huge explosion of light at the solar eclipse. So the solar eclipse had this energy of this kind of illumination, awakening, opening our eyes, seeing more clearly, a lot of pressure with the Leo energy to express in the outside world what's inside of us. So this is kind of a tension and energy and uncomfortable feeling in supernova souls. This common theme found in supernova souls of the reluctant leader. And so this Leo energy is pushing us into that leadership, into shining our light, showing who we are in the world. And that's very uncomfortable when you've been persecuted for who you are, lifetime after lifetime. So it's so interesting because we've been talking about the end of the Piscean age. Like, we've had an element in Pisces all the way back to 2011 with Neptune, and then Saturn joined over the last couple of years before moving into Aries. And so we've had this whole energy around completing the Piscean age. And then this recognition that we've had these Pisces energy for all these years. And with the North Node moving out of Pisces, that happened on September 28th, that was this energy of like, wait, nothing else is in Pisces. And yet we're not done. And so we made this huge leap into the Leo Aquarius. The nodes moved over into the new signs on, when did the nodes? On the 28th of July. The nodes switched signs from Pisces and Virgo to Aquarius and Leo. And they went into Pisces and Virgo in March of 2025. So they stay in a sign for about a year and a half. And that's a chapter. I mean, it's an energy that we are dictated by, because the North Node, it's this destiny energy. And in the birth chart, the North Node is like, wherever your North Node is, it's like, this is the only way you can move forward. So, and then we're looking at this for all of us with the nodes in the signs in the collective experience. And so the North Node in Pisces, the only way forward was to rehash the Piscean age, right? And now the North Node in Aquarius says the only way forward is to look to the future. And yet we're in that place we've been for so long. Like, we can't go backwards, but we don't have anywhere to land. Because this Pisces lunar eclipse is the last eclipse happening. Even though the nodes have switched signs, there's one more eclipse in these signs of Pisces and Virgo. So this is the Pisces full moon. So you've got the sun in Virgo and the moon in Pisces. And the intensity of this Pisces full moon eclipse on the 28th, 29th, and I would welcome you, please come join us for the Soul Group session. That is a group intuitive session looking at shared past life pictures around the energies that come up at these certain times. So for this eclipse, and that is Friday, August 28th at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. You can catch the replay if you can't make it live. There's a sliding scale down to $25, and this energy is so important for us right now. When we do these group intuitive sessions, we're literally accessing the Akashic records and figuring out who we are. And this is coming forward again and again in themes and readings and sessions for supernova souls right now. Is we're kind of at a loss of how to move forward because the story itself of who we are and what we've done over lifetimes has been completely buried. So how do you take your place and move forward in an energy that's hidden? So we're just kind of feeling stuck and lost and alone and floating out there in the universe because we're disconnecting from the constructs, the precepts, the handlers that have kept us in a box. And now we're kind of like free fall and yet still working out these, so much of a bloom. This is interesting because I've been saying all along, it's like, you guys don't realize what it's going to feel like when we don't have anything in Pisces anymore. Like, because simply because we're at this place of rehashing the Piscean age. So let's talk about the Piscean age. The Piscean age started, of course, the last shift of ages with the birth of Yeshua. This story of Christ consciousness began, an impulse came to the earth, and then the fallout, 2,000 years of a nightmare. Where everything got inverted and upside down, and that impulse became a story of lies and delusions to be able to control humanity. So that means if we're going to rehash the Piscean age, we have to uncover all the lies and delusions. And this is the cool thing, because we got the message that the North Node moving into Aquarius now, no longer in Pisces, no planets in Pisces. We're in an end of a chapter where reality based on delusion can no longer hold. We just see right through it. And that's a very different world. And once you see through it, you can't go back to not seeing through it. It's a great reveal. And it's happening. There's no other way. We're at this impasse place. Now, this is the energy we're feeling with the squares right now, because with the sun and the moon opposite each other in Virgo and Pisces, that this eclipse, the lunar eclipse, is happening at 4 degrees Pisces, 54 minutes. 5 degrees, pretty much 5 degrees, but that's right in this planetary alignment, that we've got Pluto in Aquarius, Neptune in Aries, Uranus in Gemini. And what that means is that Uranus in Gemini is in a T-square to this full moon eclipse. So this is where we get this pressure, this energy of like, how can we move anywhere from this place until we have more information, till we see through the lies, till we get some truth, because we are floating around in this complete mess of the unknown, confusion, delusion, and we've been lied to for so long we can't even sort out what's truth and lies. We've been fed such a fake reality that we can't remember what's true. And this is a big message coming through from Mother right now, that there's something about the time we live in that we must be given the opportunity to be presented with the fake mimic version of Earth and our reality and simulation and time, so that we can discriminate and reject the false and the fake. Until we can discriminate and reject the false and the fake, we can't move into our own organic, original reality. So it's something about just kind of stepping back and recognizing the power, the empowerment energies of the times that we live in. Because you cannot claim back anything that's yours until you understand it's yours and that it's been stolen. And this is like this stark realization, this humbling, vulnerable but raw feeling of realizing how much has been stolen from us. These forces working against us, it's a bloom. I'm sure you're feeling it at every turn. And it's like all of the constructs of all these harassment and surveillance forces, all that energy, all the money, all the people who are willing to take money to harm you, all that whole system, every little bit of energy and resources that they have came from us as stewards of Earth. It's stolen from us. So we've got this whole massive matrix agenda working against consciousness evolution, and everything that is a part of that. The more they work against us, the more obvious it is that they're not actually worthy. It's almost like for thousands of years, for lifetimes, they've been telling us that we're not worthy to have access to the resources of Earth. We need to earn it back. We need to pay tithes. We need to, repent our sins or whatever. And now we're coming to the realization that that was classic narcissist projection. And it's them who does not have a right to the resources that they have. And the energy of Mother Earth waking up, and our consciousness waking up and taking back her body, it's so profound, because we don't actually need to even do anything besides be present in our body, grounded, incarnate in our body, and aware and alive and in reverence with the energies that Mother offers us, the resources. We have been tricked into thinking that we've lost completely our organic Earth. There's no chance of getting it back. It's completely destroyed, or it never existed in the first place. And what Mother's showing me is so beautiful, that this organic reality of our truth, Mother's garden, organic original dream, is right here. We've just been abducted from it. But the thing is, it's like, so we in the power as the chosen ones, as her children, as her stewards, and that we have this direct access and lifetimes of experience working together with our electromagnetic field and Mother Earth's electromagnetic field. It gives us superpowers. NPCs or non-developed souls cannot access that level of connection to Mother Earth. So we can, by simply acknowledging and giving ourselves permission to be in the organic reality, that it's, first of all, it's real, it exists, it's still available, and we deserve it, and it's right there. And everything around us is going to be gaslighting us and arguing with this, but this is all we need to do, is to validate the dream and the vision of what we know is true. Because the reason why there's so much resistance and energy and trauma around this is because we've been programmed with fear around Kundalini awakening, going all the way back to the Atlantean catastrophes, that if we allow the energy in our body, this connection to happen, that we'll hurt something or destroy something or harm ourselves. It'd be dangerous. And it's a total and complete lie, because we as supernova souls have already attained light body and, advanced spiritual evolution in a body on Earth. In this evolution, we've already done it. They just tricked us into this fear and authority, like we need their permission. Well, they're never going to give it, are they? And so thus, this is where we have this incredible resistance right now. That life, this matrix of the false simulation, just at odds with organic consciousness, and it's come to the point where, like, we're so harassed right now that we can't just live in peace. And so it's like, okay, there was a time we tried to coexist in peace with you Satanists and the sons of Baal and whatever, but now the energies won't allow, the control forces won't allow us to be at peace for this whole time, right? We've been killed and persecuted and all these things, but it's like we're waking up and there's like, wait a minute, this is our world. This is Lilith's garden. You kicked her out, it doesn't mean it's not her garden anymore. And we're claiming it back. And so, but being in this energy, but she's saying that we've been doing this thing, like, kind of, it's almost like Western medicine, the way, the paradigm of this battle, and you're kind of constantly trying to heal and get rid of things and deal with this pathogen and that pathogen. It's a battle, battle, battle. And then if you look at homeopathy or true healing, you know, it's about strengthening the organism, and the organism throws off the enemy. So we've got to get out of this little tit for tat battle on an energetic day-to-day level, you know, and strengthen our field. And this is what she's saying is that when this strengthening is happening, as we come into awareness that we are organic life, we're connected with her, our body's her body. It's this beautiful, glorious experience we get to have, and they're trying to steal it from us. And it's like, no, we're done with those games. We deserve this. It's our birthright. You do not have a birthright to the energies you're using. The fact that you keep trying to steal parasitically proves that you do not have access or rightful access to these energies. And it's game over. We can see through it. And then it's kind of like this feeling of wanting to get rid of and erase these evil energies in our world that are just everywhere. And it's just, and a constant exhausting battle. But if we just can strengthen the organism, it takes care of itself. The life force takes care of itself. And that's what we're doing as we heal and strengthen, detox our bodies. We're healing and strengthening and detoxing Mother Earth. But she says, when you slip into this organic original reality that's right there in our birthright, those energies that are misusing my resources, she says, they're erased. Like they don't exist. It's not like, oh, we have to go ahead and do something like round them up or reprogram or kill them or something. It's like, no. They're just erased because they're not relevant. Are you relevant? Are you realizing from this whole nightmare that you have some badass shit inside of you? You're ready to rock and roll, like you have not had a chance to express and live your potential for lifetimes. It's bottled up to a point, massive uncomfortability. We're being pushed with the Leo energy and Uranus and Gemini to bring forward. So this Uranus and Gemini in T-square to the moon and the sun for this eclipse is bringing this pressure of expression of this greater expression. Uranus is higher frequency vibrations, Gemini expression. So it's like, no, this is happening. We're not gonna let the little cage you built for us keep us from our destiny and potential anymore. It's just, we're not going to stand for it. Too much power is coming and running through our body, you know, but then we have to manage that fear programming that says it's dangerous, and we hesitate and we distract and we, you know, so that's what the classes are all about, coming into the guardian of the threshold, our own energy field. So I urge you to look at that work, owning your energetic field or the goddess activation. All the classes I offer are designed with the psychic training to help you understand that you have an energy field and how to hold it and contain it so you can, you know, turn up your energy. But if we're leaking it out, we don't want to turn it up. We might want to just pretend we don't have it at all so that we're no longer preyed upon. And that's where we're shifting, because the energy's just, it's just growing. It's just happening. And with all the Leo energy and then the square with Uranus, you know, it's a pressure to express who we are in our higher dimensional reality and shine as a leader. And our creative pursuits is so important as we move into this new renaissance and this massive activation of like, yeah, hot potato, you got this inside of you. Where's it going to go? What are you going to do with it? And then this overwhelming feeling by supernova souls of like, how do you even begin? You know, and I'm so far away from that, but you're closer than you can imagine. Because the structures and the pieces of the other people that you're working with, you haven't been able to find those, right? We don't have the story. We don't have anything to go on. No structure to be able to say, hey, okay, this is what I'm going to do next to move forward in this whole new way, in this whole new dream, the original dream. And that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about the activation of what Mother Earth wants to become. And that's what your soul essence wants to express, your individual part of the dream. It's so beautiful. And so it's just incredibly frustrating to have to deal with this constant argument and attack on this vision and this reality. But she says that as we shift, if we can do that, you can do it moment by moment. And the longer you can stay there, it's this deep peace and calm. It's like you can feel your psychic space again without all this infiltration. And that's because the energies that are being misused are being reclaimed by her right now from the work we're doing and from the consciousness shift and from the energy changes. And so it's like we just have to show up and be present and witness and play our role of consciousness and love and appreciation for her. But if we go into this other, if we sink back into a organic reality, those energies don't exist. They literally get eliminated. And so there's this game and this race because they're trying to stay relevant. And the only relevance they have is to try to block us, like, an obsession. And the more they're obsessively trying to block us, the more it's clear that they actually have zero right to this energy, zero resonance. And it's like, no, if you're going to take this human form and you're going to deliberately hurt other humans, you don't get to keep that human form. This is mother's laws and rules, landing home. It's serious stuff. And we are the enforcers of this. She says it's wild because she's like, all those programmable humans, like, you're going to be in charge of them. And so we are in our very powerful energy, our consciousness and our work, like we are a part of this whole process. But we also don't have to, we just have to be present with it. And we don't have to like figure it out or make it happen or save the world or anything like that, because the energy is moving again. So all the issues are coming from where the energy is blocked because it started moving, but you're finding a blockage. So that's what we're finding right now. Everything in our lives is coming up, is showing us what's in the way of that new future. Because we sit here at the edge. The nodes have moved. The North Node's in Aquarius. Massively illuminating Leo Solar Eclipse, and now we're back in the dungeon, Pisces. Can you feel it? I just feel it's a total validation for us to know that, yes, that Pisces energy is a nightmare for us because we were persecuted through the whole thing. And so when we have to go back into that energy, it's trauma triggering. And yet it's all about healing the deep, hidden, unconscious, subconscious, hidden consciousness that's still affecting us, So it's very powerful time as we sit here, and the whole rest of this year is this recapitulation, like almost from the Leo solar eclipse, because we came out of that Jupiter square Chiron. That was the finality of that, but we're in eclipse season. So it's weird, and we still feel Mercury retrograde, but there was that illumination, and now there's a fallout of it. Like, we got to deal with the radical changes we need to make on every level of our life and our being to face the reality of who we are now that we're uncovering it. It's true. All that you sensed about having this way bigger path and purpose is true. I'm sorry. I know we would like to think that we could just be nice, just at this point with everything we've gone through, just live a peaceful, quiet life in the woods, like, don't we deserve that now? But we also have this role to play, to just step out and demonstrate. It's not the fight anymore. It's a beautiful, glorious experience of demonstrating. But we got to get the story, we got to get the truth, and we got to find our people. And that's what the forces have attempted to work against. So a lot of this place we're at, where we're like, it's time to move and do it so different, but I can't get a sense of how to do it or what that even is. And so we were told that we were going to get some clarity in mid-August with that Mercury retrograde resolving. And so Mercury was the final one in the middle of August, and the 15th and 16th to trigger, to come to the conjunction with Jupiter. And that's that kind of like, oh, this is what this has all been about. Because it holds the information of the Jupiter retrograde in Cancer and then Mercury retrograde over the same degrees. And now they meet up. Because remember, Mercury came to 3 degrees away from Jupiter before turning retrograde. So it was like a tease. And then they finally met up in mid-August, and maybe that was part of that illumination energy, because we also had the Venus kite. This glorious goddess energy, just this peace, just this love, this camaraderie, this picture of being able to get along and flow in harmony. It was so sweet. And then we just tumbled into this whole the next chapter of intensity. And then Venus is going to take a retrograde. So that Venus retrograde isn't going to resolve till December. And so the whole rest of this year is the recapitulation from the Jupiter, Mercury, Jupiter completion of the Jupiter square Chiron in that Leo eclipse. What's the illumination mean for you? Can you receive this? Do you deserve it? Are you willing to make the changes? Are you willing to say yes? There's a lot of resistance out there right now. This is what we're finding. Those of us who have freed up our life because we had to. And then when you are around people and their precepts and concepts, you make them very uncomfortable. And it's like, that's how it's been. And then we've turned down our light. And then just to be able to fit in and stay safe and stay alive. And it's like, it's no longer our problem how comfortable or uncomfortable. Because the chapter end we're at right now that Mother is saying is that we had to get the real kick in the butt, quick version of this ascension. And then now the normies have to go through that experience in their own way. And we have to allow that. I guess that's what this message is that she says, if there's non-life that's destructive to life, it's okay to kill it and remove it. Like, we have to stop feeling sorry for the monsters and the machines that have stolen everything, because it's like we haven't been able to have justice and retribution, because it's like we're being tricked in the seductive thing of like, oh yeah, no, we're your friends. Really, we want to help you while we steal all your money and then use it to fry you. It's so fun. We love to watch you struggle and suffer while we tell you that we're your father, we're your government, we're taking care of you, And this is like, whoa, because when you come online and connected to Mother Earth's field, you're the government, you're the world, you are the universe. And wherever you go, they must comply to Mother's laws. And whether you're this big or that big. And what we're doing is we're getting so big, like it's such a big energy in this. It's like this, we've talked a long time, supernovas, about this bigger self that's trying to land. And that's definitely what's happening. It's like a part of ourselves we don't even know who we are. And we've had like a placeholder. It's not that the person we've been isn't who we are. It's just there's a whole big other piece. And we are kind of trying to come to terms with this. And there's this whole picture of literally Mother Earth herself landing home her Christ consciousness body. A big, big body of consciousness that says it's time to land now and nothing can stop it. The minions and the flies and the satanic troublemakers, like, nothing can stand up against us, because one supernova in their power is stronger than all the towers put together, all the weapons. And then what does the world look like? Because this is the message. She says, you survived, you're here, you made it through. What's the next step? And this is why we're stuck. Because the next step is calling out what's happened. We need recognition. We need justice. We need correction. We need retribution. And it's like, maybe we need to do that before we sink back into our organic timeline reality. Because if they just erase, then we'll never see justice. And humanity has to see justice. Thousands of years without justice. And this is the energy of the goddess that's coming online, which is very interesting, because Libra, we know Libra as a sign of like balance and harmony, and they want to relate, and they will put other people before themselves, compromise, it's all about collaboration. And yet that's goddess energy in the garden and beauty and love and nature. But there's another part of Libra, and there's another part of the goddess energy, and that's justice, blind justice, which means equal justice. And it's something we haven't had. And the psyche of humanity is suffering until we get this. We've got to have the bad guys called out, or we're never going to know what's good and what's bad. We're so confused. That's where the Bhagavad Gita talks, this most sacred text, of so many different cultures, talks about the highest power is the power of discrimination. And this is everything right now. But it's getting easier because she says it's going to get so clear beyond a doubt who's operating with organic resonance connected to source and then the other beings. It's black and white. And maybe that's why they're getting so angry and upset at us. They're angry at what we have. And so many times we're like, oh, it's okay. Let me give it to you. Let me serve. Let me be your leader that takes care of it and holds you and, spiritually support and guidance and leadership. And that's might be an appropriate contract in the past. But in this time, we all have to be that own city of light, our own government, our own universe with representing these laws and rules and moving forward in that. But she says that you, as a human soul in a body connected to the electromagnetic vibrations of Earth, you carry my authority. And that's maybe why people are getting upset. But supernova souls are not so easily backing down now, because there's a righteous anger growing, and it's uncomfortable because we hate getting angry. And we don't like to fight, but we have to fight back. We have to get angry and fight back because they're making our lives hell and stealing from us to do horrible things. And so it's just got to get reconciled. And this is the place we're at. It's just like, forget it. If we're not going to have a resolution on some level to this atrocities, now that we've survived, if we didn't survive, it'd be a different thing, but we survived. And they want to scurry in the light, but they can't. They must be held accountable, or we'll never, ever have justice on earth again. And that's going to be hard for people because they're not going to understand the level of justice that needs to be dished out because they don't understand the level of crime that has been committed against humanity. So all of this has to come to light, and it's an uncomfortable time. But for us supernova souls, the ray of light into the future of the truth of who we are and what we're here to do is coming on. We're here to express the new renaissance. Everything we do needs to be creative, and we express our spiritual devotion through our individual creativity and a totally different energy. And we got to get on fire. We got to detox. We got to feel life force flowing through our body. We got to choose organic earth at every moment and demonstrate this to the world, no matter what the reaction is, and this is maybe why we've gone through Hell Impact, our little leadership training program. Wow. So the energy of this Mercury, this clarity we were supposed to have coming after the Mercury retrograde is reflected in Mercury catching back up into the sun. And so that's today on the 27th. And so it's kind of this energy of like, oh, now we can finally understand what this whole last chapter means for who we are. And so there is this glimpse of an energy of like, oh, peace is coming together, right? And this is a really cool thing because, we've gone through such hard times, but we're finding that it's like, oh, I got to deal with this thing. Wait a minute. I went through something similar or a piece of this. I already figured it out. I can just go grab that part. And then it's not so difficult because I've already got this piece that I worked on and I figured out. And I didn't know why I went through that crazy, awkward or painful experience, but now I see what it gave me for these times. So this is the energy, and it's so beautiful because it has the energy of reaping the rewards of lifetimes of work, soul work that we've done, supernova souls. Isn't it time? And this Uranus, last 8 years of Uranus and Taurus, do you deserve your higher frequencies? And it's like, well, I don't know. Sure, it's fun to dabble in it, but I'm a little scared and da-da-da. It's like, no, they're going to make your life hell until you claim your higher frequencies. And so it's like a whole different game. So So we've got a lot of tension right now, as well as this clarity, Mercury, Sun. So get this though, Mercury is catching up to the Sun on the 27th today. That means that they're going to be real close in opposite to the Moon for the eclipse. And that energy is in square to Uranus in Gemini. So Mercury's involved, and that's what makes it so intense, because Mercury is trying to find clarity after this whole last chapter, finally catching back up to the Sun. And then it's like, what? You know, it's that feeling of being invited to a meeting and you find out it's like some weird, distorted thing. This is kind of the deal. It's like, wait a minute. We need the truth. Mercury in that square to Uranus. So let's see, the Sun, let me find the right notes. The Sun Mercury squares Uranus, on the 28th, and then the Sun on the 29th. So this is the energy. Why this? Because first of all, we got this Pisces energy that we thought we got out of. And here we are back in the dungeon. And it's like we've had such a bloom of the control forces, because the energies are increasing and they're having to just clamp down and do everything they can frantically to try to keep us from awakening. But on the other hand, we have this glorious alignment, amazing alignment of all these planets in the early degrees. So it's like, yes, we've got this incredible, intense T-square with the Sun and the Moon and Uranus, but Uranus is part of this sextile formation in the kite energy. And so it's a T-square, but this is really interesting because when you find a kite in a birth chart, what it means, the kite is about bringing different parts of yourself together and integrating in a whole. Like, I did this in a past life, I did this in a past life, and now I want to use it all. Typically, the kite doesn't activate till later in life, and it needs something to pry it up. So you'll typically find a cross or a square there that's like, okay, this is what's going to get your kite to fly. You need the tension, you need the oomph, you need the pressure, and that's what this square is, with the nodes this Moon and Sun interacting, taking their place in the planets all in a line. 7 signs with these elements in the first 5 degrees. So it's just amazing. Like, if you really calculate how long it took, thousands of years, eons, to get to this lineup in astrology, and then this Moon comes in, Pisces full moon, but it's taking its place in the lineup. And it's saying that we get out of the delusions of the past and heal Mother Earth and Virgo when we get the truth. So the kite can't fly without the truth, is kind of the energy. But I think, so that square to Uranus is very uncomfortable, especially for supernova souls and this weird, so I think that the eclipse seasons, the energy of the eclipse season lasts, it's like a 6-month chapter. And so the energy of this next 6 months, sorry, but it's like light and dark. Leo, new, let's move, let's go, let's express, right? New renaissance, we're getting on stage, we're going to show who we are, we're turning on our light. Whoop, boom, 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 back into the dungeon of the Piscean age. Oh yeah, turn on your light, we'll just persecute you some more. And, but it's the last bit. It's the tail end. It's a shadow nightmare. And yet it's showing us everything in our subconscious that still needs to be addressed for us to move forward. But this juxtaposition of the lightest light and the hope and possibility and the darkest dark confusion, back and forth. Okay, so that's the energy that we're working out for this next 6 months. And that makes sense with Mercury retrograde in Libra and Scorpio. And you could call that Libra's like the garden and hope and light and sunlight. And then Scorpio's like, ooh, deep into the shadow and the darkness and the mystery. So it's like just this like, what's light? What's dark? Are we light? Are we dark? We've been in the dark. We go into the light. What's going on? Because the Piscean age, the light, the spiritual impulse of light, Christ consciousness that we represented, was called the dark. And then the dark satanic rituals that was called the Catholic Church was called the light. And so no wonder we were duped into that whole COVID scheme. We're living in the Piscean age, one big satanic ritual. And now we're coming out from under this and waking up and being like, whoa, 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 whoa. Which God, what God are we sacrificing to after all? Because Yeshua really came to get rid of all sacrifice. And, but they took that story and made it about us always sacrificing every life. That's how to be like Jesus. And we're kind of going, no, this time I'm not giving up my life and my body. It's not required. We're turning on our light body. We're getting another body. We're transforming our physical body, but we don't have to get rid of it. We don't have to go through that. That's what Yeshua did it, so we don't have to show us that we have light body, to show us that we have a luminous body, God-like form that can incarnate. Does Mother Earth have a luminous form? As we heal this subconscious pain in our body, are we healing the soma of Earth? Her body holding the energies of trauma from the Atlantean catastrophes? So it's so deep and so profound and so confusing. Like on the one hand, we got all this information coming in, but it's not making sense and it's not lining up because we've been so told other information. But I think the energy of that Venus retrograde is going to be addressing these things. The Venus retrograde, Venus went into retrograde shadow on the 31st. So that's the profound energy of this Pisces lunar eclipse, right? It's like, what part of you is still in the dungeon thinking that you deserve to be punished and tortured for your light? Get out now. Okay? It's like, this is your chance. Last call for the train. And so I think that's the pressure and energy we're feeling. But Venus goes into retrograde shadow on the 31st, turns retrograde on October 3rd at 8 degrees Scorpio, and retrogrades back to 22 degrees of Libra. So please pay attention to the last 8 degrees of cardinal signs, or 10 probably, and the first 8 to 10 degrees of fixed signs in your chart. It's some time for some deep soul searching work to be ready to bring forward what's inside of you. And that's this Venus retrograde. Now, it's interesting because we've got the Venus retrograde, but we've also got the kite. We still have a kite, the Mercury kite and the Sun kite. The Mercury kite will be September 13th and 14th, and then the Sun kite will be September 26th and 28th at the very end of the month. So September is magic. It's beautiful. But it's also intense because Venus is starting to turn retrograde. And I know Venus retrogrades, they've never been fun for me. But this one is about empowering out of that darkness. And it might be really empowering because the Libra energy and going into the depth of Scorpio, it's like, yeah, we want the garden. But Libra is it's like we have to go into the depths and heal the deepest psyche, errors in our psyche in order for that garden, so I don't know, it's just, that feels like the energy. But we're in a huge amount of tension right now because of this square with Uranus, and let's just look when that resolves. Those squares with Uranus will resolve on September 1st. Okay, so, but on September 1st, we have Mars coming into exact square with Saturn. This is one of the most intense astrological transits, and I think we've been feeling it already for about a week, even though we technically start the influence of this on the 27th today. But I feel like we've been feeling it for the last week because it's so intense. Because this is this frustration, this is this anger, this is the end of the road. This is like, you have told us to our face what you're doing, and yet there's no ramifications. And how do we get through this next chapter? Because Because we can't, if we put it under the rug and pretend it didn't happen, then we'll never go anywhere in our evolution, and we might as well just give up our planet. And we're coming to the crux of it. And that's the energy of Mars square Saturn. Now, Mars is in Cancer now. Powerful. They come together in square at 13 degrees. Oh man, I didn't even realize this. But I've been thinking about how Mars for September is going to be going over those same degrees that Jupiter retrograded and then Mercury retrograded. And so Mars direct says, now we run with what we've learned, that mom rules. And our whole world is based on her laws, rules, and geometry, and it's the only truth. And humans are her compassionate, glorious stewards to be entrusted with these resources. And we need to stand up and claim them back and say, we stand with Mother Earth. She tells us what's okay and what's not okay. And we are here to enforce this. Not because we're going to go call you out, because we walk in Mother's authority. And Mother's authority is different, right, than Father's authority. Mother's authority is simply a reflection. All Mother has to do is be like, what are you doing? Now, if the reflection doesn't work, it might mean that isn't a human enough entity to have the reflection, and then it will take Mother's rod. When the activity goes outside of what's acceptable in the human caring for each other, then there's trouble. Mom's going to get mad, and she has the power to eliminate. And that's what we're feeling. It's an ominous feeling of loss of life, but it's not really life. Please remember, it's fake life. There's all these beings that aren't real out there, and we've got to stop feeling sorry for them because they want to take money to do deliberate harm to us. So no go, no more. And this is what we're feeling, the intensity. So this is the Mars square Saturn. Because of Mars in Cancer, the warrior is aligned. He's ready to fight for what really matters and for Mother, right? He's like, oh, it's that feeling of the wounded warrior on the battlefield. Like, oh man, I thought I was serving Mother Earth, but I'm so far away, and like so sorry for the blood spilt, the regret, the shame, like all these feelings that come up in the wounded warrior archetype for Mother Earth, and standing and saying, oh, now we understand. Now we see and we feel in our own body the laws and rules, how she wants things to go and be, and we can't not see it. We can't not go by it. We can't not live these laws, because it's why we exist over eons of time. So now we've got Saturn, laws, rules of reality, time, and all that, Saturn in square to Mars. Now, these are both called in traditional astrology malefic planets, meaning like they're trouble. And when you have squares with one malefic planet, there's trouble. Two malefic planets, double trouble, right? And yet, let's look at this, because it's about Mars and Cancer, about ready to start, because I think Jupiter retrograded back to 15 degrees and then Mercury to 16 or one or the other. And so it's like this happens with Mercury 2 degrees away. Mars 2 degrees away from this sacred path, that it's like the warrior is walking the sacred path again. What does that mean in your life? What changes do you need to have to be a warrior, the shaman you are, walking the path every step? No more accommodating to the energies that are not in alignment around you. It's a strength. How many times have the shamans had to be eradicated for us to stand up now at this time and live in the true vision and be like, it doesn't matter if you don't see it or believe it. It's real for us, and we'll show you. Ready? Mom's waking up, and it's a rainbow reality. Let's go. So this is kind of this crux of the situation. We cannot get beyond this point. And this is where, if we don't start valuing the human part of being human, we're going to lose the human part. And we can already feel that the AI is boomeranging, where people are starting to really recognize and appreciate organic interesting, quirky mistakes and stuff. I was like, oh my God, it's real. It's not AI. Make some mistakes, you know? And so there's a value coming in this unique individuality. And that's a big part of this new Renaissance energy, our unique individual creative expression that celebrates the divine and makes the world go round. And we've been putting it on the back burner like it's the least important thing. And now we see it's the most important thing. It's how and why we live. And it's the only thing that can move us forward. And so we got to be on fire. Live free if you don't want to die, you know? And so this is the energy of this Mars square Saturn, because Mars is the ruler of Aries, you know, which is life and death and survival. And so Mars, that's why he's the warrior. He's like, what are we doing? It's life or death. Let's go. In this case, it's life or death. Be human, or the whole planet is turned into a synthetic reality. So value humanity and grow human principles, concepts, taking care of each other, compassion, individuality, or perish. And so now Saturn is our timekeeper reality planet. And so Saturn there in Aries just turned retrograde. Saturn turned retrograde on July 27th, and then made it to 13 degrees today. So just has gone 1 degree back. And I think it's so profound that Mars and Saturn meet up just before Mars goes over this sacred corridor of the second part of Cancer, where we're still trying to figure out that Jupiter in Cancer retrograde started in October. We're still trying to figure out what that has meant for us. And so get ready, because Mars is ready to stir it up. When Mars moves in water, it creates mud, you know? And, but he doesn't care. Put that motor on the boat. Let's go. So, he's not scared of the mess. And so he's willing to make a mess in order to clean it up to be better for mom. And that's sweet, isn't it? Is a masculine finally ready, and all of us ready to support the intuitive feminine in our world? That's part of the correction that must happen as well. And so Saturn made it to 14 degrees, almost the middle of Aries before turning retrograde. And so that energy is Saturn. Saturn is our laws, rules, reality, time. And in Aries, it's new time, a new impulse, the whole potential for humanity. Resetting time to reflect the full potential within, the Adam Kadmon, the divine human potential. So it's like Saturn could only go so far before turning retrograde. And then right when he turns retrograde, square with Mars. Oh, this is what we're missing for the ideal timeline. We got to get the ideal human and what human means, you know, and celebrate and honor that humanity. But the pressure of this, right? Because it's got that whole energy that we are feeling of Jupiter opposite Pluto, of who gets to be in charge of the structures of Earth? Who gets to be in charge of the timeline of Earth? And Mars says, humans do. And let's go. Mars square Saturn resolves, or we'll feel it through the 6th, that 7th, the whole first week of September through Labor Day weekend. And it is a tense transit. Be careful out there traveling. And Mars squares always bring impatient drivers and aggressive drivers as one of the main things I've noticed about Mars squares. And Saturn is impossible, right? So there's a lot of conflict. These impossible conflicts, though, are all between one thing: organic life the way it's meant and wants to be, or a synthetic version or twisted version or psychological version. Like, you know, all these people walking around and they're just so out of touch with reality and their own psychological constructs. And they don't even notice that nobody else is there with them. And that's part of the disease of our time, ultimate disconnection from Mother Earth. And ultimately, if we're not connected, we don't get to go where she's going. And that's where she's saying, she's like, when you slip into this true organic reality of ascension, all that disappears. Don't worry about it. Now you have to pick off every battle, focus on strengthening the organism, and be Mother Earth, and treat your body like Mother Earth. It's a hard one for me. because life's been so hard and we have to get through things, but she wants us to just be incredibly reverent. And maybe that's the energy of Chiron teetering on its journey at 0 degrees, only making it to 0 degrees Taurus, but still it's a foreshadowing of this next 8 years of Chiron and Taurus. And how do we embody? We take care. The reptilians are not such good caretakers. And our false mother that they fed us, the false reality mother, she's mean and she'll eat you if you cross her path, right? There's not a lot of nurturing there. So Mother Earth is defined by abundant love and nurturing. Look at what she offers. And all that distortion, like we said, the raw materials all come from her. So it's all stolen from us. And now we're saying, you've been telling us we're not relevant, we don't belong, we don't get to be here on Earth. And it's really you guys that don't get to be here. And now we see. And there's no other way forward. So the words that are coming around this is total recall. If you have organic life, but you're not in alignment with Mother, like say a clone or I don't know, a droid or a robot, it's like you're mimicking life and you have life force you're using, but you don't have life connected to Mother's dream. You don't get to keep going. Do you understand? It's total recall. And we don't have to do it, but we do represent her authority. So if you have a harasser, you can be like, well, you've identified yourself as irrelevant because you're using resources and accepting resources to cause harm to a chosen one. Sorry, it's not me. Mother says total recall. And this is literally what's happening. Are you feeling the shift? It's not as creepy technologically, like there's attacks, individual attacks, but the overall matrix energy is less. There's way more organic feeling. And that's why, because Mother Earth is literally draining back the resources from the parasites. And if we can parasite cleanse in our body gently, but with love, like we can mirror that with her and be a part of it, and our body is her body, like we detox, we can feel this cleansing of the parasites of Earth. It's so powerful. We're going to find SuperNova, rock star. You surviving and just living and making it through has saved Earth. It really has. And we've made it too far now. We're not going back. Even though they're painting a nightmare picture for us, that's just the Pisces full moon eclipse. It's over for them. The nightmare has holes in it and the light is peeking through. And then the nightmare has no more sway. So go ahead and go into the dungeon one more time, right? Like, face it. What is the last little bit of the scariest stuff in my subconscious that I haven't been able to face? Because I want to be fully conscious with Mother. I want to feel, when you feel this life force moving through your body, this feeling of being alive the way we're supposed to feel. All of these issues and worries that are bothering you right now become irrelevant. Because you're on fire, you're alive, you're moving again, and nothing matters besides moving in that energy. And that's what she says. She says, come alive, move, express, sing, write, dance, play, have fun, joy, like children, be my children. That's how you save me. And that's how we move into this ultimate reality that's waiting for us, which is the organic original reality, but it's been upgraded. It is Technicolor, and we get to exist in it. And no wonder they're upset at us, because we finally feel worthy for what's ours. We've been apologizing and cutting ourselves into pieces for lifetimes, trying to serve humanity through sacrifice, And like, oh, yikes, that was a little erroneous, because sacrifice says that there's breaking into pieces and we can only go forward in wholeness. So let's stop sacrificing ourselves and bring ourselves into wholeness for Mother as a devotional act. It's so powerful. I feel that this energy of the boomerang of the South, we haven't really gotten what the South Node in Virgo has been about. And this eclipse is like this is it. This is the fight to the death to save Mother Earth. It really is. And we've really been living through it, and we've really succeeded. And the energy of that, the reward, the validation or the proof is this incredible organic energy available in our body. Like just living, it's like being just alive and sparkly and on fire, right? The electromagnetic frequencies moving through our body. And then it's like, oh, but these NPC clone hybrid fake creatures, reptilians in disguise or whatever, they don't get to have that juicy flow. Oh, that's too bad. We should give it to you. It's like, maybe this time we don't, because we know their trickery. And this time we say, prove yourself worthy. And we get a backbone and we stand with Mother Earth. So that's the energy of this Mars square Saturn. It's definitive claiming back of our own authority and autonomy in our own field and Mother Earth. We couldn't do that until we recognize. We've been so gaslit and so brainwashed and traumatized, we could not see how much we've been mind controlled. Now we're starting to see. And our MK Ultra has been kicking our ass. Like, we have to talk ourselves back out of this gaslighting and validate and honor that vision that you've been denying because everybody else says it's bullshit or thinks it's just a dream or whatever. It's like, Mother's vision lives in you. She gave it to you. Grow it. You know, this is the time. This is the energy that we're in. So it's a very powerful push. You know, at the same time, we've got the lining up, the beautiful lining up of everything just lining up like a rainbow. Like everything coming into place. Places, please. That means you might have to be ready to step into the limelight of who you know, is scary for supernova souls, but we have to live free in our full expression or we will perish. This is kind of the energies. So the helpful thing that's going on that's so beautiful, which makes this so dynamic, you know, because we've got the rainbow lining up, but then we've got T-square in there with Uranus and the Pisces and Virgo but then we've got Mars square Saturn, the malefic planets, the battle up against the wall. But then we also have Jupiter in Leo in trine to Saturn. So like we've got Mars square Saturn about to go over the same degrees that Jupiter did. And then we've got Jupiter in Leo, made it into Leo in trine to Saturn. And it's so beautiful. That one happens from the 31st to September 2nd, and we'll feel it through the 12th. So let's let that trine take us through the square of like, oh no, but this is harmonized. In the bigger picture, this trine says, no, wait a minute. Jupiter's bigger. Jupiter's expanding. This is the time of expanding the light, and our new timeline is supportive of this. It's been trying to squelch our light, but now the only way forward is for our new timeline to support our light. And so it brings a different flavor to this Mars square Saturn. That yes, we're fighting for humanity and for humanness, but that requires that we shine our potential. And then we can have our human dream. And it's so beautiful how it's all coming together, but very, very intense times. So I hope you can join just coming up here in a few minutes. After this video, I'm finishing this video, moving into the full moon activation, Pisces full moon activation. So please come join that. What happens in the Pisces full moon activation is that we get a baseline energy setting the space for the eclipse session, the lunar eclipse soul group session. That's a group intuitive session looking at shared past life pictures. Incredibly powerful in these times. So please, if you can make it, I could really use your support at this time. All the forces of goes through overcoming to get this work out there is exhausting, and the resources we all know is such a struggle. But if you can help, come to an event, come to a class, drop a donation. I have 3 different ways to do that, and so I hope that you can come be a part of that Pisces full moon activation or the Pisces lunar eclipse soul group session. The activation is on the 27th at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and the soul group session is on Friday the 28th at 10 p.m. Mountain Time. So it'd be wonderful to have you, and any support you can come forward with would be amazingly helpful in just one thing after another of struggles. I know you know how it is, but thank you for your support to be able to come and give you these messages. And it means so much to me to be able to do that. So thank you so much for your support, and thank you for being a part of the Supernova Soul Tribe. That gets you into every activation so you don't miss a message. And thank you so much for just being here with us. If you just come and listen to these concepts, that's being a part of it. Even signing up, but you don't make the event or you go on the replay, you're here with us. So thank you so, so much. We're coming together, and it is incredibly powerful. We've been completely surrounded by non-people, and keep that in mind, and keep in the beautiful sparks of creation energy sparking off, as we come and we find the pieces of our puzzle and who we are and what we're moving forward. So I feel like there's a big piece coming forward, trying to come forward right now because of this astrology in that soul group session. So I would love to have your involvement. That soul group session, whoever shows up has a shared energy. It's really intense. It's interesting because usually a couple people will sign up, and then there'll be a pause, and then the rest of the group will come because it's like, come on, you guys, we're having a reading. Like, come on, our group is on deck, And so if you feel that call, please come and be with us. I appreciate it so much. And reach out if you can't afford it and you want to be there. I really love to help. We can help each other right now. So thank you so much for your support. It means so much to me. And I look forward to seeing you at these events or at the next update. I appreciate you, and I feel you so strong as we're all going through these dramatic and powerful changes. So hang in there, Supernova Soul. Glorious, glorious future lies ahead as the radiant being that you are, full potential and full permission to show that potential. And this is what we fight for. And so you do that by expressing that light and not shining, not turning it down, not dimming that light for nobody. So thank you so much for being you and making it through all you've made it through to be here with us right now. And I look forward to see how these things unfold. I hope to see you at these events or at the next update. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.